All right, traders. It's Thursday, time for the open mic, and that is me rambling on for about an hour or so, talking about some comic books I got. Everybody watching, more than welcome to pop on. I jumped on early today. Going to be spending some time in the park with the grandkids, and I even went a little bit earlier than that because I got my Comic Con mystery boxes. So I'm going to real quick open those up. Right here live on camera. And I don't know how I didn't know this. The whole legal flat rate envelope fits a Gemini mailer. But, you know, I learned that just recently with somebody that's sold as many comics as I have and bought as many comics as I have. You'd think that I would know. Of course, Comic Tom Mystery Mail Call, ComicTom101.com. If you're not following Comic Tom, you're missing out. He's got great content. He just dropped his weekly video with Jim Mint talking about some changes in our bigger key books in the market. And then he does, of course, the Saturday night show. Top 10, sourced from Key Collector, which, of course, we all know what Key Collector is. So, every month they give you a nice little piece of art, and on the back it gives you a rundown, basically, of what's in your box. Real quick, we'll run through the chat. Hey, Nick, how's it going? Hunter, hello. Hey, Rich, what's up? Can you hear me today? I went live yesterday and nobody can hear me. It was ridiculous. Not sure what that's about. Comic Tom's website, ComicTom101.com. So anyway, so we've got Cult of Dragon, man. Oh, a lot of good stuff. Demon's Daughter. And so this is Harley by Starro, or Harley and Starro by Nate Johnson. Oh, okay. Well, Starro up in her hand there. That's pretty cool. All right, so cool print. And let's get to it. Let's see what we got. Wow. Okay. I will start with Avengers 262. A nice book there. Everything comes bag and boarded. Incredible Hulk 374. Super neat. Wow, very cool. We've got an Invincible negative space variant. And this is a fairly low number, 185 out of 2100. We all know that I like the lower numbers. This is by Nate Johnson. So that's really cool. That is super cool. And this is not sure what that is. You have to pop it out real quick and take a look. Not familiar with that one. Mill Geek, Comic Tom 101, and Mill Geek Comics. Soulstream issue 1. Oh, okay. Scout Comics title, Soulstream issue number 1. Very cool. Very cool. Cover art by 16-year-old Cora Sweeney. 16-year-old. Wow. So that's obviously a name we want to remember for the future. I've got DC's Holiday Special, issue number 1. Whoa, a second print here. Demon Daughter. Huh. So that's very cool. Cult of Dracula, #1, Carla Cohen. This is another Comic Tom exclusive. That's really nice. Cult of Dracula has been a great read. I buy all the Dracula books. I'm a big Dracula fan, all the way from the original Stoker novel on up. And I buy it in every iteration that I can. Really like that. Cult of Dracula 1, Hive Comics exclusive. I'll be showing one of those in a few minutes, but that one's really cool as well. And then we have the Comic Tom Ha Ha issue #3. This is another Comic Tom exclusive. So in this book, or in this box, we got 3 different Comic Tom exclusives. So that's pretty rare. I think that's the first time that's ever happened to me. Super cool variants. So that's box #1. And of course, if you're opening these up on Instagram, you post these to Instagram, and they enter you in to win an extra box and stuff like that. They have random goodies thrown in. I think I won't tell you. I order multiple boxes on these every month, and I'm grandfathered in. So when you sign up, like right now, I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe it's like $45 plus shipping for a Comic Tom box. And you always know at least 1 or 2 of the books, right? You always know that you're getting a Comic Tom exclusive. In this box, it looks like I got 3. And they generally run in the $10, $15, sometimes $20 price range. His Marvel ones have been running pretty high. So that's pretty exciting. So you're always getting your money's worth. And then once you sign up, you're grandfathered in. So you don't have to pay more if he has to raise the prices. He's got people that are paying like $20 for a Comic Tom mystery box. Again, Harley Quinn print. We've got, that's super cool. Mighty Avengers 255. Nice Captain Marvel cover. And everybody knows me knows that Monica Rambeau is my Captain America. Another print. The same one I had before. Incredible Hulk #337. So even the filler issues they give, and one of my slight criticisms about Comic Tom's mystery mailboxes is even the fillers that they give are like the Hulk and the Avengers and books like that. I would like to see more indie stuff because I'm an indie guy, but the Comic Tom boxes are basically what it is it's a true mystery box. You get 2 or 3 books that you're getting, plus a couple pieces of art that you're getting every single month. Everything else is completely random. I've had a few indie books, mostly Marvel and DC. Typically, every month I get a small handful of books that go into the personal collection. So, but for the price, you just can't beat it. Let's see, I've got Superboy Millennium Edition, Superboy #1. Really cool. Superboy reprint. Again, Cult of Dracula #1. I'm hoping to get the sketch variant. So this particular variant is limited to 1,250 with 200 sketch. Another pretty low number on the Invincible. That's a 191. So this one is limited to 350 on the Virgin. So limited run of 350 on a Scout book. That's not a bad deal. And then this is the trade dress of Ha Ha. And this one's a 1,500 print run. So still a pretty low print run. And You know, that we always like the lower print runs. That's why I'm a big fan, of course, of what they do over at Hive Comics, because they do nothing but smaller print runs. Great art, small print runs. Like, it's the perfect combo. I apologize, folks. I got my wife and daughter chatting on the Facebook on the other screen, so I'm going to pop that off. I agree. Out of all the King in Black, and I didn't pick up the King in Black books, but that Comic Tom one was really cool. I think I ended up ordering 6 boxes. We got one for Rich, and then I ordered like 5 for myself. And the Joker, their one that they did with Scorpion Comics for Joker #1 was just, I mean, the Joker open order covers were horrendous, but it's a great book. And the Comic Tom Scorpion Comics, I think it was Scorpion. But anyway, the Comic Tom variant was by far the best of all of them on that book. So I think that's the one to have. And let's see what we got here. I probably will be posting another video when the other boxes come in and do just those. Harlequin art. There's one for Bob. Daredevil 231. I actually don't think I have that in my collection. I'll have to look. That one's probably going in the PC. Oh, this one's nice. So again, this is Demon Daughter. This is by Ben Templesmith. It looks like there are 1,000 of this print, 250 of the other print I got. So, wow, that's very cool. But this one, there's 1,000, and then there's 2 others. I don't know if I can show those. Okay, so those right down here are the Templesmith prints for that are randomly packed. So I've got 2 of this one and then that one. So maybe I'll get lucky in the next batch of boxes and pick up the other 2. That would be super cool. Oh, here you go, Rich. This is right up your alley. Batman Detective 816. A little ticked off Batman going on there. And then New Mutants number 79. Oh, nice. So this is the Virgin of the Cult of Dracula #1. The Virgin sketch cover limited to 200. So, you know, it's the Virgin sketch cover of the other one. So that one's pretty sharp. I'm not a big fan of sketch covers, but, and of course the Invincible, and this is the trade dress 1500. So I've got a complete set, and that's going to go in the personal collection. I've got the trade dress and the Virgin. If I ever get the opportunity to meet Tom, and as cons open up, and we do cons, of course, here in Utah, and they do them up north or whatever, I'm going to take the opportunity to get some of these signed. I've got the Buffy the Vampire Slayer set with Faith, and that one's really cool. Shannon Mayer covers. I've got a couple other from Comic Tom that I really think is cool. So a little bit of show and tell. Try to set all this stuff aside, put them on piles, right? So a couple things that came in this past week. Of course, Black Cat Comics has been having a sale. Everything, all their back issues are half off, and I scored well up there. But got this from the guys over at Hive Comics. You Promised Me Darkness. I like it. I think it's a great book. I think it's a great story. I'm not really into black and white comics. But this one managed to hold my attention. I think it's well written, well drawn. It's got a great premise. So I really like that one. And this is the cover to have. For some reason, it blew up. I think other covers are better, like this guy. Look at that. That is a Gallagher exclusive, and they may have some of these on hivecomics.com still. Been doing some pressing on them. They had a little defect up here that we had to get out because they're trying to get those 9.8s to send out to their customers. They do everything they can. That's one thing I can say about Hive, right? They just invest in their customers like you wouldn't believe. Couple great books there. And this thing, look at that. That's Silver Coin #1. That, again, is a Hive Comics exclusive. I think that's just a crazy cover. And when they first showed this to me, I'm like, oh. And that's probably what you're thinking to yourself right now. Wow. Very cool. It looks much better in person, for sure. We were really disappointed because all of them have bindery marks on them. And so it's going to be really hard to get a super high grade on that book. But up at Black Cat, I was able to get a hold of a couple great finds in the past week. That elusive Lenore #1, first print, so hard to get a hold of. Just a real difficult book to find. But I was able to snag one of these. We're seeing average sales over the last 90 days about $85 on this book. Starting to shoot up. It's been optioned. I believe either Netflix or Hulu has optioned it, and it's in pre-production now. So that ought to be a big one. Another one that's got some option news that's been driving sales. I was able to grab this. We Live. Got a few copies of that one. Grab those from up there. And then, in case you guys don't remember, back issues at Black Cat Comics right now are at that, or until, well, today. So get up there today and tomorrow. For all of this month, 50% off. And so I got some great deals. Shadecraft, of course, was a big book last week. I was able to get a few. Another great book from Hive. Like, I wasn't expecting to get this. These things were so hot. Of course, Peach Momoko, the artist, and I feel like an idiot because I just said how hot it was, and that my old man Swiss cheese brain is blanking on the title. No Heroine. So No Heroine #1. Peach Momoko. That was a super hot book. Still is super hot. And like, I just walked out to pick up books that I was going to be pressing for the guys, and Jonathan handed me that, and I appreciate very much the way that they take care of me. And this is the Cult of Dracula set I was talking about. So they've got a full color, and a color splash. I think I like the color splash. This is their #1. #3 people have been going, or #2 people have been going nuts over. This artist, mark my words, Maria Key, up and coming. It's just going to be blowing up the comic industry. I was able to snag this, very good condition. Grabbed it at Dr. Volt's yesterday. Spider-Man 2099. I think that's a highly underrated book right now. And you're going to be seeing that one blow up. If you can see, I grabbed it for $5 off the wall. Little bit of something here by the staple. I think I can get that out. But other than that, I mean, it's a beautiful condition. So this one's off to get graded. I think that one's going to blow up. And let's see, new books that came out yesterday. Had to grab Marvel's issue #1. I think this is going to be, even if it's not going to be a big book, I wanted to get in on it because they're bringing back the Punisher with all the controversy around Proud Boys or whatever political people wearing the Punisher symbol. Disney and Marvel did the right thing, and they're standing up and they're saying, we own this character, we own what that character stands for, and we're going to use it. A lot of us are Punisher fans. I like to see him being used. So Punisher back in the mainstream, really happy about that. And then I grabbed Tarot number 127. Only tarot book I've ever bought. So we're going to give that a run. Heard a lot of good things about this one, Modern Frankenstein. We're going to read that one. I actually bought this for my daughters. Vox Machina Origins. They're reading that one. I've been starting to really get into the Xenoscope stuff. We've got their steampunk issue for the Grimm universe. Of course, Cult of Dracula number 2 is out. I'm going to follow that story. Geiger, issue number 1. This is the second or third print. Second print. So basically just black with just the glow in the dark part printed on it. So if you haven't read Geiger, it's a great story. That's a good book. I'm a big Dune head, of course. Got a couple issues of Dune. Really excited about what's happening with that IP. And then the book that we are collectively trying to make the number 1 book in the world, Spawn. It's just a fun escapist book. And I think this is going to be an important issue. We're kind of gearing up into the Spawn multiverse. It's $2.99. Really no reason you're not buying it. I personally, I've got it on hold at a couple different shops. So I pick up multiple copies of every single cover just because it's Spawn, and we want to send that message that we are going to heavily support a $3 comic book that is just quality, because you don't like the quality on Spawn books compared to what Marvel is putting out right now is just crazy. And then another big one. So Berserker, I had to pick this up. This is issue number 1. This is the a somewhat hot variant. I've got, of course, the Hive one that I like. I've got multiples of that one. But I grabbed this because number 2 came out. And if you bought number 1 and number 2 from the Nerd Store here in Salt Lake, you get the 8th printing of Something is Killing the Children, issue number 1. It's a very hard book to come by. There's been a lot of missteps by Boom Studios on this book, and how people are to get it in their hands. And I'm at this point, I'm not even sure that anybody really knows how to get it in their hands, right? But Something's Killing the Children is, of course, a great book. And then Greg took care of me. I got a couple covers of that 1 in 25 hard to find foil variant. This is Berserker number 1, 3rd printing. Average sales on this, we're seeing about $100, and Greg took care of me on those. Got them at cover price minus the whole discount, so you can't beat that. And then the last one, I get a little organized here. Firefly. If you're not reading Firefly, you're missing out. I mean, these are great stories in the Firefly universe. But I pick up, that's one that I grab every single cover for. The RIs, the Virgins, the sketches. That's the Virgin of the A cover, and this one's super cool. That Shannon Mare Kaylee cover. That's just beautiful, isn't it? So Firefly. And they got another title, Firefly Brand New Verse, which has been really cool. And then a couple other super cool things I grabbed. I had this one for a while. You know what? I'm going to wait because I think we may have somebody pop it on a little bit later, and I want to save that one. But grab this print up at the nerd store. Check that out. Godzilla versus Cthulhu. Godzilla versus Cthulhu. That is just savage. So I'm going to put that up on my monster shelf. I got Godzilla. So I'm redoing the shelves behind me, and that's going to go up there. Hey, Bob, how's it going? Everybody say hi to Bob from Everything Comics. Great guy, has done, like, I can't even express the kindness and support that he's shown me, and really has, out of everybody in the comic book community, Bob is the one that has completely changed my life, because I didn't think a year ago that I would be able to do something comic related for a living. And because of Bob, that's where I'm at. So thank you, Bob. I love you, brother. You do great things for the community and for the world. You know, everybody. And if you're not subscribed to Everything Comics, he drops comic reviews. He's half of the team for the Monday morning comic show on Comics at Bueller. And I've said it a few times, and I'll say it again. Bob is the heart of our comic book community. Like, he brings the heart. We've got other people that bring the fun. We got other people that bring the intelligence and the passion, or whatever you want to say. Bob is the heart of our comic book community. So thank you, Bob. All right. Just two more things, and then we're going to drop the link, and anybody that wants to join in can. Grab this. Got myself a chopper. Really, I didn't think that I was going to care for that series, the Rebels, but I got into it. It took me a minute, but I got into it. And the wife really liked Chopper, so I grabbed Chopper. And the thing that I think is really cool about the Black Series thing, so right here, you've got the spare leg. He went through the entire series with a leg that doesn't belong to him, and he's got his leg. So I think that's super cool. There's even an episode where, based around Chopper, the whole thing is him trying to get a hold of that leg so he can replace his mismatched leg. And I got this bad boy, Booma, Godzilla. So I'm on a Godzilla kick recently. We just watched King of Monsters last night. I'm going to be watching Godzilla versus Kong tonight. In redoing my shelves back here, I'm going to do a monster shelf. So I'm going to find a really cool Kong to go with him, maybe some of the others, and have the Cthulhu background and redo the shelf there. So very cool stuff. All right, so let's see here. I'll pop that up there. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. I am going to be here for another 40 minutes or so, and I will just ramble on if nobody joins me. But if you want to join, show off some books, talk comics, feel free. And yeah, we'll just have a good time. I've been redoing my website. I don't know if anybody pays attention to my website. I know Rich follows it pretty closely at times. That would be awesome. I'm really digging the whole monster verse. I think they've done a really great job, not only bringing together a good universe, but it keeps the spirit of those old. They've had to change stuff to update it, but it really keeps the spirit of those old monster movies from the what was the first one, 1955, something like that, all the way through 74. the ones that we used to watch on Saturday afternoon sci-fi theater. So, and I'm working on. So I've been going up and down what my next set of books are going to be that I'm going to be working on. I think within the next week or two, I'll be completely done with my Star Wars run, my Conan, and my Defenders. So those are going to be finished. I need to pick 3 more. Indiana Jones is not going to take very long because I really pretty much have all of them. G.I. Joe's a must. But for that last 3-person spot or 3-book spot, I don't know. I think I'm kind of looking at Godzilla maybe. So I don't know. We'll see. All right. So we got somebody here to join us. Right on. So I'd like to introduce you. This cat has done some great work. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a big fan of what they're doing over there. Stanley, hello. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
So for those of you that don't know, Stanley is the creator of Bleakhaven. He's the one that created this world that these people live in that is really, driven the passion behind this project. If you're not on Bleakhaven, reach out to me, reach out to Stanley, Black Cat, Dr. Volt, and I believe you have him in the Nerd Store also, right?
I'm not sure actually. I know we have them at the Hobby Center in Clearfield.
Oh, okay. End Zone. Okay.
Yeah, the End Zone Hobby Center. I'm not sure if we're in the Nerd Store. I'm gonna have to reach out. Cassie keeps track of all that stuff for me.
I think I've seen them in there. I'm in there
cool.
2 or 3 times a week, but I've got the Rogue Trader Black Cat exclusives of their first book. Just a real exciting world, and not just a comic book world. I don't think it can be classified as that because you've expanded it, and your vision is much bigger than that.
Yeah, we've. It started with comic books because they were a lot more cost effective. We initially wanted to do an animated series first, and there was just no way that was going to happen with our budget and time and everything. So I figured, we can do comic books. These are all basically comic book characters anyway. So right. That's where we got our start there. But yeah, we've expanded it further than that. We've got an drama audio book that's on our YouTube and podcast right now. We just actually released the next episode of that, so I'm pretty excited about it.
That is super cool. I'm really excited. I was going to listen to that this morning because I was doing some work this morning on some books, and I was like, I'm going to listen to that because I'm really excited to hear that. But I'm holding off until you drop the YouTube link.
Yeah.
And you're doing something a little bit different with that.
Yeah, I'm trying to do something a little bit more special for the YouTube link, just as far as the visuals go, just for anybody who wants to listen and watch it. So,
all right. So I'm gonna throw this in here real quick. This is our link to the YouTube channel for Bleakhaven. So if you're not subbed up to Bleakhaven, it's still a fairly small channel. We got 20 subscribers. I would like to see Bleakhaven at 100 by the end of next month for sure.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, and we're gonna continue putting content there. We're in the works as well to do more of our books and more content there. One of our books is our young adult book called Credence. And we're working on getting it to where it's also like a motion comic on YouTube. So, because a lot of kids don't have the money for comics or access to the comics. So we figured that would be a good way to get the word out there a little bit more.
Oh, that's super cool. I really dig that idea. So this, let's see, I'm going to bring this up here real quick.
Want a lawn that looks like this, but your lawn looks a little bit more like this. Then you should click right here and check out. Good evening, my friend.
So I hate the ads.
Incompetence. One of our places of business was recently subject to a nasty fire. This obviously caused a lot of attention to be placed on the location. The cover-up and asset reclamation will not be cheap, which is why I'm reaching out to all of you. In order to maintain my firm grip on Bleakhaven, and for you to witness the events that will unfold in our fair city, we need donations. Don't worry, you will all be compensated for anything you donate. On the lower end, there's a signed issue of the next installment of Welcome to Bleakhaven. The highest donations will be compensated with the Art of Bleakhaven concept art book, with an exclusive Kickstarter cover by industry artist Walden Wong. These aren't the only way your generosity will be rewarded, so be sure to look at our different donation tiers, perks, and rewards. I sincerely hope you decide to donate. If you don't, well, then you may not be entitled to my protections.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure out how to do those little animations. It's really rudimentary, but I actually did that all myself. So
Right on.
a lot of fun.
So yeah, and tell people a little bit about that Kickstarter and what that's about.
Well, the Kickstarter itself is just really a way to help us get the next books budgeted out and really out there, so people can start consuming it a little bit more or a little bit faster. So we have our first books out. We only have the one book so far, and then the second book is coming out this summer. We're still rocky on the time frame, but the Kickstarter is to help us get the next few books out, because we have the Welcome to Bleakhaven is a mini series, and that's all written, and we're ready to go on all those. And on top of that, we have 3 books that are announced. So we have my book, which is called The Priest of Bleakhaven, which is going to be a prequel series to Welcome to Bleakhaven and the main story that happens there. And then Cassie has a book. My wife Cassie has a book called Marks, which the cover's out already, but we're still working on getting the book itself out. And then a good friend of mine, Donald Roos, he's another writer on Bleakhaven. He is doing the young adult title called Credence, and that one's going to be super cool. It's got a lot of folklore and mythological creatures set more in the Midwest.
Very cool. So I'm sure you didn't pop on to just talk all Bleakhaven. I'm super excited about the Kickstarter, the next book. I really enjoyed reading Bleakhaven. I'm excited for the audio drama to drop on Friday. To me, like, we used to go to scout camp and listen to, our scoutmaster used to bring audio drama tapes, and we would listen to cassette tapes of, the Phantom and Dick Tracy and stuff like that. So to me, that audio drama was just such a cool concept. And I know other people are doing it. I didn't realize other people were doing it until I heard yours, but I really dig that and how it just like adds a different dimension to the books themselves. And I think that's a really cool concept that you're doing over there. So
yeah, I'm really excited about the audio drama too. I grew up on those as well. I used to go on a lot of long rides with my dad, and he would always put on The Shadow or the old Superman audio drama, and that's kind of where I got the inspiration for this. But also, it's kind of an audio book at the same time. So, and it's all connected to the main Bleakhaven story, so it just gives a little bit more history about Bleakhaven and sets up some of the stuff that happens in the city.
Right. So when I was going through my show and tells earlier, so I wanted to hold this off because you had told me that you might pop on today. So I wanted to hold this off until you did. But so the Bleakhaven #1 is a flip book, like the old MCP books, and the #2, which coincidentally is the Rogue Trader exclusive, was drawn by a gentleman named Rufus, and I had him do he's a huge fan of Batman the animated series, and he drew this one up for me. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah, he did a killer job.
Yeah, Rufus does a good job. He's also doing. Him and Josh are doing. If you get the art book, you can add an add-on in the Kickstarter, and they'll draw a picture like that in the inside cover of the art book.
Oh, right on.
So that's another cool thing. If anybody wants it, there's a good example of the kind of stuff that can go into the inside cover, and that's going to be a fun art book too. Donald is also writing that, and he's making it more. I don't know if I'd say experimental, but it's not like a normal art book. It's going to be more of like a memoir, more of a community thing, less of this is the art and that's all it is, you know.
Right on. So, and you are, and I know from previous conversations, you are a comic book fan.
Yeah, a big comic book fan.
So what have you been reading lately?
Lately not too much. I usually pick up Venom. I'm a big Venom fan. Sometimes Spider-Man. The Dark Knight Metal stuff has been some of my favorite stuff. I think we've talked about that before. I have too much to show and tell here, so I figured I'd just pull some of my favorite stuff to show off. This is one of my favorite books. It's Batman 612 with Hush. It's the Hush one where Poison Ivy takes over Superman's mind and he fights Batman.
Right on.
It's signed by Jim Lee. I don't know if you can see that too well. There we go.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah, that's when Jim Lee came to Dr. Volt's in 2019. I was able to get him to sign that one. And then this one is Spider-Man 16 from, I think this is 2013 or whatever, but that's my Stan Lee signature when I got to meet him at Comic-Con. That was the first Comic-Con in Salt Lake.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah, that one was one of my favorites. And this variant, I think this was like a Canadian exclusive cover that somebody was selling at the convention that year.
Yeah, I haven't even seen that one.
Yeah, and it's the Superior Spider-Man number 16, sorry. And yeah, Spider Stan. So I don't know how many of those there are. Like I said, I think it was a Canadian convention exclusive. And then the last comic book I pulled, this is one of my favorites, but I'm biased. It's not really super special, but that's my first edition signed by the entire team.
Nice.
So yeah, this is a lot of signatures people don't usually get. It's signed by all the current writers and artists and helpers. So everybody who helped bring that book to life. So
I think that my copy, I might have both that are signed by everybody because I got lucky and I was the only one at the signing event that was able to get Pibby's signature.
Oh yeah. Pibby's elusive.
so and he did a great job too. Like spectacular job.
Yeah, he's a fantastic colorist, and he's gonna likely make his way into inking some of our books as well. So maybe even doing some penciling soon. He's a really good artist.
Right on. And let's see, I'm gonna pop this up here. So you guys have, this is the Bleakhaven Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
Drop a link to that. Goal is $10,000, and you guys are already up to $1,258, so not bad at all.
Yeah, that support's been amazing so far. So thanks to everybody who's supporting us, not just financially and consuming our books and following us on social media and everything. It means a lot. The support's been incredible so far.
Right on. Very cool. Very cool. So, and then you have a new book coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a solid street date on that one, right?
Not yet. It was supposed to be out this month or early next month, but the artists have had some personal issues come up, and so they've been dealing with a lot of that, and so it should be we're on track right now to have it available before we do another event, or an event this fall, I should say, because we do actually have an event going on the 20th. That one is going to be more of an experimental event. It's not going to be like sit down at a comic book shop and signing. We have a whole show going on. There's this the guy who actually voiced the dragon in that little ad that you just showed, the little Kickstarter video. He is a planner for bands and doing like local concerts and stuff, and so he wants to try to do something more with art. So we've got I think 5 or 6 local artists coming along with the Bleakhaven team, and then he's got some bands and a magician and all sorts of stuff. So that'll be fun.
No, that sounds pretty cool. I'll have to come down and check it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you brought up something I think is real interesting that people don't realize. So Bleakhaven is completely self-published.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have a publishing house. You don't have the backing of even a Source Point Press or Scout Comics or something like that. You guys are doing it all from your couch in your living room.
Yeah, we did. We were able to do it all within our own, little world, and we've been really lucky and fortunate because the technology we have today, with the scope of the internet and communication and all that sort of stuff, we've been able to pull it off, and that's been amazing.
Oh, and so it's a really sad state because people have heard me talk about the Bleakhaven book, the physical comic book that you guys put out, and the quality of that book, which is comparable to really absolutely anything that's on the market today. Quality wise, it's quality paper. The work is on point. The story, the inking, the coloring, all of it. But everybody is working on the book has a day job.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you guys are sitting in a room cranking out comic books. Like, you're doing this long nights after you get home from work and have, I know a couple of you have kids, and so after you put the kids to bed, that type of thing. So it's pretty impressive that you were able to get one out, let alone have a second one almost hitting the stands. It's pretty impressive indeed.
Yeah, and it's our team has a lot of faith in it, and I think that's something that helps a lot. It's for me, Bleakhaven is something to look forward to after my day job. It's something it's something I feel is more meaningful. And really, with the Kickstarter, it's just going to help us get closer to that point where we can leave the other stuff behind and focus on comic books, because we're not here to get rich or whatever. We just want to, support our families and do something we think means something.
Yeah, and I definitely would encourage anybody to check it out. It's, to me, Bleakhaven is kind of it's not pretentious, if that makes sense. It's not, you've created a world that's meant to entertain. It's not meant to make a statement or take a stand or any of this other stuff that seems to be going on in indie comics these days. It's just a form of entertainment based in a shared history and a shared love of those fantasy worlds that we used to have. So I really can't express enough. If you haven't been on Bleakhaven, let me know, and I will get a book into your hands somehow, because it's really worth the read.
And we've got them up on the website too. We also have the cheapest option right now to get one of our first books is through the Kickstarter, because if you do the $10 tier to get the signed book for the next book, then you can add on for $4. You can add the the first book too. So it's probably the easiest way to get it shipped to you, because right now we're working on our shipping, but shipping is a little bit more expensive than I would like it to be. It costs about as much as the book does. So
right. All right. So you've got $1 pledge, $10 pledge. You get a signed copy of the second book. So who's doing the signing? So it'd be you.
So me, Josh, and Rufus for sure would be doing the signing on that one.
All right.
And then we have an option just for anybody who just would want the book without signatures. I didn't figure too many people would want it, but I just thought that having that option would be nice, because I know some people just want the book.
Yeah, and this is another interesting. So $20 you get the poster and the comic. The posters that they're doing, like, these aren't some cheap flimsy posters. They're really nice.
Yeah, they're museum quality. This one will be the smaller poster, so it's about 16 by 9 or something like that. So a little bit, so like a computer screen kind of size, maybe a little bit bigger than that.
Well, this is 24 by 36.
That one? Oh, yeah. That's a mistake. I'm gonna have to fix that.
Oh, okay.
So if you get the art book, it comes with a 24 by 36.
Oh, okay.
So this one will be smaller. I'll go in and change that so nobody gets confused about it.
And then you've got $30 pledge. You get the book signed by Walden Wong. So a mainstream DC artist.
Yep, and he did the cover for issue number 3.
And I want to point out, all of these signatures, if you order a book from Bleakhaven, so if anybody's going to be watching this on the replay or whatever, if you order one of these signed books, you can still have it slabbed with a yellow label from CBCS or EGS, because they have, all of these guys have their signatures on file there. So you just send them in and they can be verified.
Yep, you made us official, Eric.
Yeah. The Spider-Wolf t-shirt.
Oh yeah, that's a cool one. I'm excited to get mine. That one's going to be a lot of fun. Josh did a really cool line art design of the Spider-Wolf head. Right
on. Then you got the Art of Bleakhaven concept book, and that comes with a poster. For $175, you get the wallpaper, the book, Spider-Wolf t-shirt, poster, all kinds of good stuff. Original Scullivan drawing. Who's drawing those?
That one was, there's only one of those. That's one of the drawings that Josh did for Bleakhaven. It's actually for the cardboard cutout that we had.
Oh, okay.
So you get the original of that cardboard cutout drawing. And if you go to the, I think, story page, it has the pictures of everything here too. So
let's see. Original Welcome to Bleakhaven 3 cover.
And those are the two pictures that Walden did for us, the two covers. So those are 100% original inked pieces by Walden Wong.
Nice. And then original Jack and Spider-Wolf.
That's the art cover book, or the art book cover.
A couple pieces of OA from Walden Wong. I mean, that's well worth $1,200 right there.
Yeah, he's an amazing artist, and if you want to learn more about him, you can go to our podcast. We had him on a couple times. He tells all sorts of stories. He talks about hanging out with Mike Mignola and all sorts of fun stuff.
All right. So are you into indie books?
I am, but I haven't picked up too many yet.
Let's see here. I was just kind of taking a look at some of the Walden Wong stuff.
Yeah, he's done a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. DC fandom. Like his artwork is awesome. I was just trying to see some projects that people might know him from.
But he did the thing that comes to my mind every time is he inked most of Superman Red Sun. He also did a lot of work for things like New Warriors in the 90s. I think he was on those books. He does right now he does Web Warriors. I know he's been doing that, and he does a lot of work on the Venom books.
Very cool. Some Action Comics, Son of Superman, League of Shamans. So yeah, he's got some cred for sure.
I think he was also, I think another recent one, I think he worked on Red Hood and the Outlaws as well. It's another one he worked on recently. Yeah, he's a super cool guy. It's been incredible working with him and having him do that cover and just seeing his interpretations of the monsters. That's one of my favorite things about Bleakhaven is I can see every time we hire a new artist or a new artist submits some work, because we've gotten a little bit of fan art as well. It's just really cool to see the characters that we come up with, something that was in my head come to paper and then see other people's interpretations of it.
I think you and I are going to have a conversation off camera, because there's a couple things that, just so the community knows, there's a couple things that we've kicked around that we've been talking to each other about. But there's also something that I came across yesterday that I think you may want to get involved with.
Good.
With another independent publisher. So we'll have that conversation. But yeah, Walden's done some really cool stuff. Check this out.
He's done some super cool work.
Lost Lighthouse. That is.
I think he mostly does inking for the industry, but if you go onto he's got a YouTube channel where he does tutorials on how to draw. We sponsored one of his videos, and he did the Skullovan, and it's really cool. It's a 3-hour long video where he goes in depth explaining the entire process of how a piece of art gets from the imagination of the writer to the page, and it's really an interesting listen if you have time. Not just Bleakhaven, but if you're interested in how comic books are made at all, that's a must listen or must watch. Super cool.
Yeah, and like kind of in that vein, I've listened. Of course, I sit here and I work all day, and I listen to all the stuff that you have on your YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
To me, so back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, the rock stars were the artists. It was Jim Lee and Liefeld and McFarlane. Those were the rock stars. Nowadays, your rock stars are Donny Cates and Kenyon and the writers. It's really interesting to me listening to you specifically speak about creating the worlds and stories and what goes into that. And if you, because I have just full disclosure, I'm writing a comic book right now. I'm writing a script right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a writer. I've written novels. I've been published, and of all places, Harlequin romances. So I'm a writer, and I've got zero artistic ability. I cannot draw anything at all. But to hear another writer talk about that process and creating these worlds to me, that is just fascinating how you've been able to do that. And do it so vividly. It's super cool.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's a lot of time, a lot of hard work and effort went into it. And again, Bleakhaven didn't initially start from a place that we were going to publish it. It initially started with Cassie and I just hanging out, talking about different stories, because Cassie has always been a writer and I've always been a writer. We've never published anything. We never really did anything with it, but Bleakhaven was kind of born out of that area. And then we realized, we could do something with it. We could make it something. I liked the story that much, and that's kind of when I knew I was going to do it, was when I was like, I like Bleakhaven as much as I like Marvel or DC or Star Wars or whatever. And so that's when I figured now's a good time to push forward on it.
Right on. And it's super cool that you've been able to create this, and really super cool that you found, not only a supportive spouse, but a collaborator in it as well.
Yeah.
To me, when you meet these guys, so the first time I met, who was it? It was you. It was Cassie and
Josh, I believe, was with us. Yeah.
Even when we were all hanging out together at the signing event, you had the whole team there. But she is just as invested in this and excited about this as anybody else on the project. And that's super cool that you have that kind of support to move forward. For sure.
It certainly helps a lot. Bleakhaven wouldn't exist without Cassie. I believe I'd be doing something story related regardless, but Bleakhaven itself would not exist without Cassie's influence and her help and support in creating it, and her ideas for characters. And she's also a professional editor as far as editing writing goes. So she's been invaluable when it comes to making everything presentable, because she makes everything really nice and professional as far as the writing goes. And we just make a really good team, and I'm incredibly grateful for her.
I think it's super cool also how, like, you're so welcoming. A lot of creators that I've met in the past, and it's funny because since I've been interacting with you guys, I've actually there's been about 3 other books that I've talked to creators and we're looking at doing projects and stuff with. But back in the day, it used to be that if you were a small, independently owned, self-published comic book, you guarded it, and you were very militant in guarding it, and nobody could come in from the outside or anything like that. And you guys have been super welcoming. I know, not just to me and some ideas that we've kicked around, but also to some artists that I've introduced you to, that I believe you're going to be working with in the future. It's really cool how you've created this, and you've created it in a way that you're allowing other people to be part of it as well. And that's super awesome.
Well, thank you. I've been around a lot of writers, and I do know how guarded they can get, and I've been guarded about certain things before as well. But with Bleakhaven, to me, I feel like I'm more the curator of the project. I curate Bleakhaven, and I make sure everything fits together. I think it's bigger than me, certainly, though, because again, Bleakhaven, I was the initial. It was initially like my brainchild, but it developed and grew with people around me, and I couldn't hog it all to myself. And with I also work with a lot of artists and a lot of clients who get art. That's my day job, as I edit whiteboard animation videos. And I see a lot of clients who are just nitpicky. They're like, I need you to change this, that, and the other, because they don't really understand the process. They don't understand how we do things. They don't understand the art aspect of it. They're marketers or bankers or something, and they just have a hard time comprehending the art, and it's not the way they want it. And that's something I've tried very hard to let go of. For me, Bleakhaven is about simplifying things to its important aspects, and then going to the artist and saying, here's what's important. Now I want you to take your creativity, your abilities as an artist to make it bring it to life, basically. And I'm a firm believer that artists, writers, everybody who creates things, they're way better at it when they're invested. Like, you can tell when an artist is invested in the art that they do because you can see it, you can feel it. And I never wanted to take that away from anyone. And the more people who want to come and add to it, the happier I am, because we're filling the world, we're making it more solid, we're bringing it to life, and it comes more and more alive every day. And I think that the community is the reason that it's doing that, and not just the community of the creators, it's the community of the fans that we have so far. And building that community has just been so important to me, because we wouldn't be here without the community.
Well, I think it's really cool, because the most successful, especially indie books that we see nowadays, Canto, I don't know if you've read Canto, but those creators have very much that same thought process. And so do the guys over at Second Sight. And they've got a bunch of great books coming out. Just want to address the chat real quick. Herm, how's it going? Check this dude's stuff out. I know that we went on a little bit early today, but just to reintroduce, Stanley is the creator of Bleakhaven. It's a small independent comic book, self-published here in Utah. Very high quality, very cool. Kind of something that I think that you would really dig. So, Herm, if you're at all interested, let me know, and I will get a book into your hands, because you're going to dig it. Also, Fable popped in. Fable and Stanley, I know you probably don't know who this guy is, but Fable does a lot of music for the comic YouTube community. So as far as, creating tracks and doing music and stuff like that, somebody that you may want to connect with to help you with some of the going forward with some of the YouTube projects that you have.
Yeah, for sure. We've got a lot coming down the pike, so for sure.
Yeah, he'd be a real cool one to hook up with. I didn't even think of that until he popped on. But Fable's real big in the community, and he loves comic books, and he does everything he can to help support the rest of us. So, yeah, if you could work with him, I'm sure that you can find, just go check out his YouTube channel. He's always putting tracks on there. They're really cool.
Awesome. Yeah, there's always room in our team. So,
what's up, Link? How's it going? I feel bad that I had to start an hour early, but we got all the grandkids coming over to go to the park later, so I had to jump on a little bit early today. So I don't know, what do we talk about next?
I don't know. I got some action figures to show off that I didn't get to. Yeah. I figured I'd show some of my more signed stuff. This is one of my favorites too. It's the Boba Fett. Let's see if I get it in the camera. It's backwards for me. So that's Boba Fett from the Disney Store Elite series. It's the May the 4th exclusive from, I don't know, 2015, 2016. And then I took it to Comic-Con that year and was able to get it signed by Jeremy Bullock.
Oh, that's super
really cool. Yeah, he was a really nice guy as well.
Yeah, I'm starting to work on my Star Wars shelf behind me. I'm trying to decide what to put up there. I've got that giant Lego Millennium Falcon, but
the big one.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to fit on the shelf. Put together.
I have the same one on my kitchen table because I don't have anywhere else to put it. Cassie likes this stuff as much as I do, and I've been really lucky because that's how we decorate our houses, with Legos and action figures. And so she actually got me that for Christmas a couple years ago.
Yeah, I think I want something related to. I've got I got a bunch of Lego minifigs, the knockoffs of. I've got the entire Bad Batch.
Oh, nice.
I've got Rex and Cody and all those. I really got into the Clone Wars stuff, so I'm trying to find Clone Wars Lego set that maybe a trooper transport or something like that I can put together and use as a backdrop for those.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'm big in the Clone Wars too. I've got my Star Wars shelves are just over here in there. I've got a whole Clone Trooper and Mandalorian shelf just because I've been getting into those.
Yeah,
so much. And here's my last action figure. It's I think this was 2010 San Diego Comic-Con when Halo Reach came out.
That is so cool.
And then it's signed by Todd McFarlane too.
Wow.
So that was cool. This is my Todd McFarlane signature. And I just had a friend who had a bunch of Halo stuff he wanted to get rid of, and I found this, and so he just gave it to me retail price. And that was crazy.
Yeah, I love my Halo shelf.
I know, that's sweet. I need to get that sword still.
Like, that was a beast, though. That one took like 3 days. I sit up in our room and I lay him out on the bed while the wife's watching TV and she's working, and I'm like putting together Legos while we're watching TV. But yeah, that one was super cool. They've got another set that I've got on order. It's the Forerunners. It's like just a section of the Halo ring.
Oh yeah. I've seen that one. That one's really cool.
It was like $15. I need to go pick it up from Target up in Salt Lake. None of our West Valley stores have it, but I think that's the last piece for my Halo. I used to have all of them, like all the drop ships, all of it, but they went the wayside when we moved to Utah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I'm big into Halo. Cassie and I play a lot of Halo still, so
I haven't been on Halo forever. I haven't even been on the Xbox in probably almost 3 years now, which is sad because I'm a big Xbox guy.
I'm more of a PlayStation guy, but last year I got for our anniversary I got her an Xbox and I got her all the Halo games. And she's mad at me now still because I didn't know this at the time, but Halo 5 isn't co-op. And she was really mad about that.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I actually own all of the Halo games, and I played about halfway through 4. So I played all the way up to about halfway through 4, including Halo Wars. I love Halo Wars.
Well, you got all the important ones then.
I don't think there's a not important Halo game.
That's true. I'm a big fan of that original trilogy. Halo 2 is still probably my favorite.
Yeah, Big Herm says he's a PlayStation guy.
Oh, good. You've got somebody on my side.
But the only thing wrong with PlayStation is it's not an Xbox. If they changed that, it would be perfect.
Well, we got Spider-Man over there, so that's good.
You know what? I got about 25 to 30 long boxes full of Spider-Man. I don't need to watch it on my TV screen.
You don't need to play the. I was talking about the video game.
Yeah, I'm not interested. all that stuff is like really Tom Clancy button smasher stuff to me. I like Halo. I like the simple stuff, Halo and Borderlands.
Oh yeah, Borderlands is a good one.
Yeah. And what was that one where they were beneath the ocean?
The BioShock.
Yeah, BioShock. I love BioShock. I think BioShock Infinite was one of the best games I had ever played. I love that one.
Yeah, and I need to find more time to get to play games.
Apparently, I have too many comics.
I doubt that. No, I think you can.
I actually have. I recently removed every comic book from my website, and I'm slowly adding them. I'm only adding the books that with a fair market value of $15 or more.
Okay.
And I'm starting them out at $10 because I always sell below fair market value. So now I have just boxes and boxes of extra comics sitting out in my garage, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with all of it.
Well, I'm sure there'll be plenty of events coming up. I know that there's a toy event coming up this summer that I was going to tell you about, because I think that might be a good place to sell some of your stuff that you're trying to get out of. And they said they wanted more comic books too.
I'll have to check into that because I do want to do more shows. I'm in the process of, again, looking for a trailer that I can pull out to cities that don't have comic books and be kind of a remote LCS for some of these places. You know, I actually own a gaming PC. I spent a lot of, well, I traded about $1,200 worth of comic books for a gaming PC, and I use it to do this kind of stuff with. This is Denver. He's my Spider-Man expert. He knows
good.
Spider-Man, don't you?
No.
All right. Well, that tells me that it is time for me to go to the park with the grandkids.
I hope you enjoy it.
You mean like
The farm.
farm?
Okay, we've got this really cool park. It's called Wheeler Farm. It's an historic farm in South Lake or Salt Lake where they have animals and stuff. But
Oh, fun.
you're gonna be a UFC fighter when you grow up?
No, I'm not going to be a fighter.
No, you're gonna be a lover, huh?
No, I'm going to be a Spider-Man.
You're gonna be Spider-Man when he grows up.
Spider-Man when he grows up.
That's good. That's good. I was gonna be Spider-Man when I grew up too. I did the next best thing.
I was gonna be Batman. I actually went as far as created my own grappling hook out of a couple pieces of metal.
No,
It was in my dad's
you're
garage.
going to be Santa Claus because you have a.
So apparently now I'm relegated to Santa Claus because of my great beard.
You know, if we're talking Marvel comics, he's a very powerful mutant. So
That is true. That is true. All right. Well, I will talk to you later. It sounds like we probably have a couple things that we can talk about. You crack me up.
You.
well, I appreciate you having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Anytime. And to everybody in the chat, have a good day. I'm going to go play at the park for a while. And we will do
No, he's
that.
not a kid, so
We'll
we
see you
won't
later,
play.
Stanley. All right, guys. Traders, have a great day. Please make sure you like and subscribe. And leave us a comment. Let us know what you want to see on future installments. Support your local comic book shop. Denver, say bye.
No.
Okay. See you later, traders.